We can just, Julie, email me about the radio, the pregame. Can we just do it in the morning tomorrow? Is there a time tomorrow?
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't do it like from 11:30 to 1, but any.
Yeah, I can do it 10 anytime. I can do it, yeah. We can just plan for 10.
I'll shoot you a
Yep.
text and I'll shoot that.
Yep.
Invitation thing to you. Yeah. That'll work great, thanks. Who's got the scout this one?
James.
All right, we're ready to get started here. Go ahead, Patrick.
All right, if you have a question for Iowa State head coach Steve Prohm, please use the raise hand button in your participant panel.
This meeting is being recorded.
Our first question will come from Travis Hines of the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis. Travis, go ahead. Looks like we're having some audio issues with Travis, so if you have a question for Steve Prohm, please use the raise hand button in your participant panel. Our next question will come from Ben Visser in Cedar Rapids Gazette. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Coach. Hopefully you can hear me. What's it like getting ready to play the first conference game of the season when you've only had a few games under your belt?
It's just the new reality, that we're all facing. Texas and Baylor were supposed to play Sunday. So you look at the Big East there, they've jumped into conference play, and so we've got to be ready. Obviously, we got K-State here tomorrow night, and then we go to West Virginia on Friday. And so obviously conference play is huge, and we got to be ready to go, because it's a home game.
What have you seen from this K-State team?
Well, they're young, they're new, they've got a lot of new guys and young pieces. I think the biggest thing with them, with Coach Weber's teams or Bruce's teams, is they're always going to play extremely hard, very, very competitive, going to defend you the same way, make it hard for you to run offense. You're going to have to be really disciplined, great cutting. You got to run offense with great pace. I think that's the biggest thing. You got to try to out-tough them and out-physical them and not let them pressure bother you. That's kind of who they are. I mean, they've got young. They're young. They've got some. They're not as experienced as some of his past teams, but I think they're playing extremely hard. They're tough, fundamentally sound, and they've gotten better over the last couple weeks.
Thank you.
All right, we think we're good to go here with Travis Hines from the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what when you guys got back to practice, what that looked like for you guys.
Saturday, we were off, and then we got back yesterday. We watched, the defensive edit from Iowa, then we went and practiced. I thought we had a good practice. I thought we didn't do a ton of things, but the couple things we did them until we did them right. And just to try to really compete better on the glass, compete better in transition defense. And then we worked in a little bit of some of the things we need to be good at against K-State, but and then we wrapped it up with the Iowa offensive edit, to finish up. So we were here for a couple hours yesterday afternoon, but I thought it was good. And then we'll go here at 1 o'clock, and so I need to have another good sharp day and do a little bit more prep for K-State.
You went back and watched the film from Friday. What did you think of those two big lineups?
Our lineup, when we played big, you mean?
Yeah, when you had Xavier and Condit or Young on the floor together.
Yeah, when Xavier, you can look at a lot of these numbers. I mean, our offensive efficiency over there was almost a 1.1, and good offensive teams are going to be over a 1.1. I think we were like a 1.08. I thought offensively, though we had numerous possessions whether it was shot selection or not getting into offense the right way, we still scored enough points from that standpoint. But I thought Xavier in the first half, when they were man, I thought he had a really good stretch. I think when Xavier was on the floor, I think it was 39-32 Iowa when he was out there. And so I thought, we ran our little high ball screen action with him. He made a three. I thought in the second half, you know what I mean, we got a little bit more disjointed with that lineup. And towards the end of the half, because they were small, McCaffrey drove us a couple times. And then again, in zone offense, we didn't get where we needed to be at times. But, that's something, that's the one thing is, we played 10 guys almost 10 minutes the other night. And, we're trying to, trying guys also get game experience, but also see where they're at. And, but I thought, I don't know if that's something we go right back to. I think it's a lot about matchups and personnel, but also us spending a lot more time with it if that's going to something we end up going to. But I thought Xavier showed some flashes that we can build on, whether it's 4 or the 5.
What's the concern with Kansas State trying to take the air out of the ball and really kind of slow the game down like they've been doing so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's two things against them. I think you got to be disciplined against them because they're going to run. They run a lot of stuff. They run it with really good pace. They run good move. They've got great movement in their offense, but they're going to turn you over. And then try to attack you, whether it's late shot clock, off the bounce, off the, a late pin down, off, a pick and roll action. And, they try to get McGurl or Pack on a single side tag or try to go inside to Bradford. But we got to be disciplined. I just want to see our energy grow on the defensive end for longer stretches. When we had good activity in the Iowa game, we had good moments defensively. We got to continue to build from whether it's 10 or 15 minutes of good activity to 25 to 30, and then work our way up to playing a complete game on the defensive end. I think another big thing, though, is we've got to rebound. I mean, they're a top rebounding team. Now, they go to the glass. They could play small at times now. They've showed 5 guards at times. They've showed going, true 4 guards. And so, but rebounding is a big critical piece to where we didn't do a great job in Iowa City with that. And like I was saying earlier, just on the offensive end, you got to be able to run offense against a tough half-court minded defensive team.
Our next question comes from Matt Valentin of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Steve, I know you mentioned at the top that this is obviously, the new normal for this year of jumping into conference play pretty early. I'm just curious, what do you see the challenges being, given the fact that this is going to be the normal for you guys? You're going to jump into conference play pretty early in the year, already kind of challenged with getting a lot of new guys up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that coming into the year that this was going to be what we were faced with, and that's why it's more about, like I keep talking to guys about basketball character and can you focus in on just getting better and continue to learn on what we've got to get better at, both offensively and defensively. Continue to get guys more game experience. We got 4 games really in the next 8 days. Obviously 2 this week with conference, and so we just gotta focus on getting better. Can't worry about all that other stuff. We know what we need to get better at. We got to go in there and do it at a higher level. And then hopefully that can carry over at some point into, wins and putting streaks together.
3-point shooting against Iowa on Friday, the numbers were pretty good. I'm just curious, what did you see that kind of led to that production? Was it shot selection, just kind of being smarter with the basketball? What was kind of your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought, the last 3 minutes of the first half were really critical. We were up, with 4 minutes to go in the first half. A lot of point scores, 38-36 or 36-34, something in that area. We really let it get away from us the last 3 minutes. That was huge. I really should have called a timeout again, whether it was my second, third, doesn't matter, just because of, you got a young team on the road against a top 5 team. It got to 42-36, and we let it kind of get stretched out too much right there. And then we had a tough start to the second half. But we have a team, and we play 4 guards. If we move the raw ball the right way, if we play with great pace, we can make shots. Coleman Lands can make them. Javen Johnson can make them. Bolton can make them. Obviously, we're missing Trey right now, but he can make them. I think I may be missing somebody. But, we've got 4 or 5 guys. Tyler Harris obviously can make them. What we've got to do is continue to understand our concepts, our spacing, our ball movement, so we don't have the bad possessions. Because when we do get good shots and we do get good movement, good things will happen. I mean, and no, it sounds crazy. Probably the best action we had against the zone, we got in Dudley Blackwell, man. He ended up turning it over, but the way we moved the ball, the way we flashed into the high post, the way the guys tilted the zone, it's not always the result you're looking for as you're building a team. It's, are they doing things the right way? And so we just can't get stagnant. If we don't get stagnant, we have good ball reversal, we go inside out. You know, anytime we got the ball into the paint, we went inside out against the zone, we got good stuff. When we got stops, we played in transition, we made threes. And we got to continue to focus on that because, you know, that is a strength of our team. You know, offense really isn't, you know, our issues. You know, that piece is more about like spacing and understanding concepts and shot selection and ball movement. We've just got to get a little bit grittier on the defensive end because we're playing some really, really high-level offensive teams.
Our next question comes from Jared Stansberry of Cyclone Fanatic. Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, Coach. You used the word compete a little bit ago, what you wanted to see from those guys on when you were in practice and working on the glass. And I think you used that word in reference to George on Friday night after the game. When you say that, what is it specifically that you want to see? Just guys being more aggressive, or what is that?
I think activity. I mean, like when Tyler was on Bohannon, okay, and Bohannon's a terrific player, really good player. But, man, I thought that really caused them issues, okay? And then they put McCaffrey at the point. Well, we need to be able to have that same type of activity with the next guy on McCaffrey, you know, and to continue to force our hand, you know, with great activity, great energy, great ball pressure. I think when we did that, when we had several possessions like that, you know, we were able to, you know, put a good stretch together. I mean, we had a stretch together, I think, in the first half. It was we outscored them 30-17, you know, but you only hold them to 17. You're doing some good things defensively, which that's going to lead to good offense. It's more about just our activity level and then just, you know, being in the right position. But that's our biggest focus is just the activity level. And if you're competing the right way, your activity level is going to be really good.
Our next question comes from Travis Hines of the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis.
Steve, you mentioned the basketball IQ and kind of trying to look at that independent of wins and losses. How much do you need to get that win, or at least get the improvement that you can show them on tape to just get a little bit of validation for those guys that the work that they're putting in is moving things in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you can say all this stuff, but I mean, you got at some point, you got to take the next step and win a big game. And obviously, every game in conference is big, whether it's Kansas or Texas or Kansas State or Baylor. They're all big because you got 18 of them home and road. And so there's no question about that. You know, if we could win tomorrow night, it'd be a big, big step for us, you know, to where, you know, go forward and finish these last couple games out before we take some time off for the break, for Christmas break. You know, and it'll validate kind of what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go. But it's really simple. It's, you know, activity and energy and great effort and discipline on the defensive end. And then offensively, it's pace and movement and really playing selfless basketball. If we can get to that point, and we got to just keep making strides, but I mean, I think you're 100% right on that, is at some point you got to take the next step and knock the door down.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for you today, Coach. Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound. Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue. You are in the meeting now. There are 7 participants in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded.
All right, Patrick, you there?
Yep, we're here.
All right, guys, we've got Xavier Foster here.
All right, if you have a question for Xavier Foster, please use the raise hand button in your participant panel. And our first question for you, Xavier, will come from Travis Hines of the Ames Tribune. Go ahead, Travis.
Hey Xavier, when you guys are preparing for Kansas State, what are a couple of the emphases? I know you guys are just probably getting started on the prep now, though.
We haven't done a whole lot yet. We've been working on more just for us, but some of the things that I know that we have emphasized, like just within the last day that we've been working, was really just the defensive part. We've been trying to figure out some of their sets and really just figuring out how we can find the best opportunity on offense. We've been trying to play we've had our bench run their defensive sets and trying to figure out how they play.
You guys are working on what you do. What's the areas that you targeted after Friday night that you guys feel like you need to improve on?
Defense, really. Some of that coaches have been honest about is giving up 105 points, On the road, we scored, 75, 80? And that's not a bad number at all. But to be giving up 105 points, you're not going to win a whole lot of games giving up that big of numbers.
Okay.
Our next question comes from Matt Valentin of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey Xavier, just curious, when you guys are playing against Iowa, you guys were doing a lot of lineups with 2 bigs on the floor. And I'm just curious, kind of, what were your thoughts on those lineups and when you're on the floor with either George or Solo?
Yeah, that felt great. That was something that we had talked about before I got here, something that they wanted to do. And I feel like it kind of worked out for us. And in the scoring area in that zone, I feel like we were cool and kind of calm in that. We didn't turn the ball over very much. Just trying to play through that, the 4-5, especially coming in, playing only the 5. It was a little shaky for me when I got in. Playing the 4, I didn't know I was supposed to be the guy taking the ball out all the time. And but yeah, it's just a lot to learn now. So now we're learning the 4 and 5.
What are you and the rest of the guys' mindset going in? Obviously, conference is starting a lot earlier than a normal year. What's just kind of your mindset of heading into a conference season this early?
For me, it really made no difference. Conference, non-conference, we need to pick it up. We're trying to get some wins. We just need to come out with the same energy that we did against Iowa and learn how to finish games. We played really hard, really well for, 15, 17 minutes. Now we need to get it up to 20, 30, and then 40 minutes and have just a great season.
All right, that's all we have for you, Xavier. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.
Because I'm always at the office running these things, I'm usually not here. So I guess if you did, it would be this one here.
Okay. I thought he had pushed that one.
Yeah. for speakerphone, but okay. So that's, makes sense. Mute, okay.
No, Schultz said I could run it from the office, so I'm like, well, first off, one, it's a freaking igloo in the Jacobson again, so I'm gonna go warm up over a hill. And then second off, I actually don't mind being somewhat close to what's going on.
Yeah, it helps to put out fires when you're
Well,
yelling.
that's, Wiener's concerned about the clusterfuck that postgame is gonna be on Saturday.
I said that.
So,
One second. Hello? No, I think there's one more